Yo, what is up, guys? This is the Brickdo here, and we have a Lego retiring in 2022 list. Now, as you guys know, we tend to get these, I guess, kind of major, like twice a year. I will say just off the bat, these, especially this list, I would say, seems a little bit more rough / less accurate than some of the others put out by Promo Bricks, just based on the number of sets on this. However, usually it's around that, 90% correct range, so it's probably a little bit less than that, but this still gives a nice indication of what we maybe can expect, and definitely some interesting things to consider that are on this list if they turn out to be true. But like I said, aforementioned, this set list is definitely not 100% concrete. I would expect maybe somewhere in the 85% range to be correct. All right, guys, so moving on to Lego Star Wars. So there's some interesting ones in here. There are definitely the 2022 sets that came out this past August from The Mandalorian, specifically the 75315 Imperial Light Cruiser, which has Moff Gideon and is currently the only set to have that minifigure and yet to be seen for the 2022 sets. That can make that an interesting set that if it retires this year. Also, too, we have the UCS Imperial Star Destroyer. I think that one's definitely one of those questionable ones, but it would be interesting if that retired before the UCS Falcon. I guess that makes sense a little bit from the standpoint of having, 3 very, very expensive UCS Star Wars sets on the shelves, but, who knows? It seems like, again, a little bit more of a question mark one. Moving on to Lego ideas. Some of these we've been hearing about for a while, the Treehouse, also the Saturn V. It does seem like, based the fact that the Saturn V is discounted.lego.com, that might be leading to the fact that it's going to be Dunzo. Treehouse 2, I think it's just been on, that radar for quite a while. This is probably the year to see that go as well. Some of the others, like Sesame Street, Winnie the Pooh, I think are definitely more questionable. But Lego Ideas, I think, is always interesting to see the retiring list. Some of them I feel like just last forever as far as being out, and some of the others I feel like are here and gone. So it'll be interesting to see, which ones end up being true for that. Moving on to Marvel, not a huge Marvel fan, so I'm not going to be able to comment on a lot of these, but my first just initial impressions are there are a lot of sets on this, including the mechs, which have been postponed and we haven't seen them out yet, so those ones would be surprising to see those turn out to be true at the end of the year being retired. All right, now we have Lego Harry Potter. I think I can comment on this fairly well, and some interesting ones on this list. I think the Hogwarts crest, that's probably right, just based on the fact that I do feel like some of these mosaics, we're getting a little bit saturated with them. I do think that they teased at a Batman one just today on Twitter, so it kind of makes sense. Maybe phase out some of these older ones like the Harry Potter Hogwarts crest. I'm not sure how well they sold either. I think the most interesting is the large Hogwarts castle, $400. So, this would be an interesting one to see retired. But again, if they come out with a new expensive set this summer, which they are planning to, then it makes sense that they would have to phase out the oldest one of that. So I think fair enough for that one being on there as well. Attack of the Burrow, I think, is just one of the better sets in Harry Potter over these past few years here. If that's true, I think that one's a little bit disappointing to see go. Other notable sets on this list, we have the Hogwarts Express. Now that one's been out for quite a while. That was actually in the first wave, I believe, of the new Harry Potter reboot here, so I'm not surprised to see that one go, though. It's just been on shelves for a while. I think it's still very popular, but it's one of those sets that's kind of been on sale and just readily available for a couple years, so it seems like it's probably time for that. I think the ones that are most questionable are the Hogwarts Moment sets. All 4 of these are on the list to retire this year. However, 2 of them aren't even set to release until March of this year, so if that's true, I think that would be pretty surprising, so probably unlikely for the ones expected to arrive in March to be retiring this same year. Other ones I think are fairly accurate, so no super surprises there, but definitely someone sad to see go, especially the Burrow and Hogwarts Express. So Lego Technic, there were so many on this list. This is another one of those, I feel like there's just too many sets on this list to be all true, and I think specifically the Bugatti Chiron, we've seen this on list for quite a while and a lot of the retiring soon lists, but yet to be true. So it's one of those things where I could definitely see that one being extended. Some of these sets too, I believe, came out like October 1st maybe of this year, like this Ford F-150 Raptor. So that'll be a little bit surprising as well. And again, just the amount of sets on this list for Technic seems a little bit off base, but will be interesting to see. Interesting to see it, especially like that. I'm looking at that Raptor too. I think that came out October 1st, so I guess a little over a year for Technic. It's true for some, but overall, I do think Technic stays on a fairly standard lifespan of probably a good 2 years. And we've seen definitely some of these ones, like the Bugatti Chiron, really extend that. I do think this Ducati motorcycle too probably sells decently well, especially European markets. So that one would be a little bit surprising. Yeah, just definitely some interesting ones to consider, but seems like too many. Moving on to Creator Expert. Okay, so as expected, some of these, I think, Bookshop, things like that. I think this one is probably set to go too. I'm not really sure. I don't think this one sells probably as great in U.S. markets unless you're a big soccer fan. So it's tough for me to tell about that being a good retirement day for that. But that one seems a little bit surprising. It seems like one of those things that could be on sale just for quite a while, as far as in European markets. So that to me would seem a little bit surprising just from that standpoint, because I feel like it's just an iconic stadium. It hasn't changed or anything like that. So I would think as long as it's selling decently well, we might see that one kind of continue going. And it says it's been launched. It was only launched, I guess, September of this year. So yeah, that's one that doesn't seem right to me. The FC Barcelona one, the Manchester United, I think it's been out for a little bit longer, probably another year than the FC Barcelona. So unless those are just not selling well at all, those seem surprising to me. Let's see here. Yeah, those other ones look fairly accurate, or at least I would expect them to probably retire. And then we have Architecture, Tokyo. It kind of makes sense. Just one out. It kind of seems like how it's been for a little bit. A lot of Ninjago sets on here. Don't really follow Ninjago a whole lot. Can't really comment on that. Lego Batman, DC Superheroes, kind of same deal here. But overall, my opinion of this list is there's just a ton of sets on it. And if these are all true, might be some bare shelves this year. Is kind of my overall thoughts. So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe 80% correct, 85% correct. It seems like there's too many sets on this personally, but especially in the categories of Star Wars, Marvel, and I think Technic specifically. Those seem like they probably have too many sets on there. But I do like looking at these sets retiring lists, even though they're not 100% accurate. It just gives me some good things to think about for purchasing decisions, and I think you guys should take this with a grain of salt. But again, I'm trying to help you guys make purchase decisions this year if you're trying to maybe get a set before it retires. So anyway, guys, hope you like this little roundup of this list. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, this is the Brick Duo, signing off.